Dialed in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the
And
brews.
they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
And brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. We had a couple episodes last week, Nick, but this is going to get uploaded actually before those.
Okay.
Because this is a timely episode we're going to do tonight.
Breaking news.
Actually, I might get it up this week still because this is, topical. And
This is just in.
yeah, but before we get there, what are you drinking?
The tried and the true. No, really, it's actually just a lager. A Tale of Two Cities. A collaboration between a place in Illinois and a place in Wisconsin. Of course, Mobcraft being one. The other is something I should have looked at before I did this, but all I know is it says those areas.
Let me see.
And then I have a hazy pale ale. Normally you see like a hazy IPA. So a difference, no indie pale ale. So this is from Mobcraft itself. It's Victory of the Valhalla. Ooh, so a Viking beard. So I'm excited about that.
Two Brothers Brewing in Warrenville, Illinois.
Oh, there we go. Sweet. Yeah. I'm hoping it's good. And then I love their sours for some reason.
Yeah.
So I'm saving it's called Flanders Red Sour Red Ale. Wild Sour program apparently they had. So Mobcraft, you guys have killed this 24 days of cheers. Very excited. Hopefully I can get over there and check out this brewery when I get to Wisconsin again.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah. What do you got?
I just have water tonight. I'm coming back from softball practice.
Practice.
And I had a lot to drink last weekend.
Yeah.
Like way too much. Like I was on the boat way too much.
Yeah. So,
So Excel water, which I found at Menards, which is flavored.
yeah.
I enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I figured I'd grab a couple of those tonight, get my water intake up a little bit since I got practice all week, and
Let's
I would go from there.
let's talk about something new that's in our life.
Before we do that,
Real
what do we start now at the beginning of episodes?
well, as always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. Your guys' support means so much to us. We really appreciate it. And back to support, right?
Yeah.
The support of
Nick got some swag.
some of our friends. Yeah. We have new, very limited for just the few of us.
Yes.
Bucks and Brews. I asked for blue because that's the shirt or the hats we wear, and
It looks like the hat somebody's wearing in the logo.
that's exactly why I chose it. I was like, this is perfect. And yeah, some coffee mugs.
mugs.
So also one of those tumblers or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
For Pops and Pennies. I don't have it because my daughter's in love with it.
Of
but
course.
it's the Pops and Pennies logo on a
Nice.
full tumbler, and really liking that. So
Love it.
love the new swag.
So tonight we're going to talk about something topical.
Yeah.
So Silicone Valley Bank just failed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's in the news. And also the reason that they failed is in the news. And then the Dodd-Frank legislation that was passed in 2010 is in the news. And there were rollbacks to that in 2018. I thought we would take that all on because I was flipping through TikTok last night.
Of course.
And I saw a video with 4 different Republican lawmakers that basically blamed the failure of Silicone Valley Bank on
Silicone. You're saying silicone like a rubber.
sorry, on being too woke.
Yes.
They're too woke, and that's why the bank failed.
Yep. That's a fact.
And that just lit my ass on fire.
Yeah. And the problem is everybody's gonna have an opinion, and the facts are there, right? The fact that it failed is somebody screwed up.
Well,
So,
and let's talk about it. So the Dodd-Frank Act, it kind of spawned to be out of the 2008-2009 Great Recession.
correct.
Because we had this issue where subprime loans were getting very, very popular because literally they handed them out like candy to anybody.
Well, and in my real estate community,
Yes.
there's a there's a giant joke that like, hey, if your dog has a paw print, they can get a loan.
Yes.
Like it was a joke, but it was an actual serious joke. Like that these things were, if you had a heartbeat, a pulse, you could get a loan. I mean, people that shouldn't be getting loans got them because throw it out there.
No income verification loans.
Right. Plain and simple.
And again, they would tell people, well, you get a teaser rate for the first 5 or 7 years. It's a teaser. So you're only paying 2%.
Yep.
And if your loan goes up, we'll just refinance it.
Mhm.
Not a big deal. And typically that wouldn't have been a big deal, except when people can't refinance at a lower rate because interest rates have risen.
Yeah. Which literally skyrocketed. I mean, we talked about it when we just got off the phone with one of our guests,
We did.
Rob De La Torre. And when we were talking to him, interest rates were 3, maybe on the 4%. Like,
I refinanced it under 3 with
yeah,
Rob.
right. And OJ and sorry,
TJ and Danny.
Yeah, TJ and Danny, right? Like they got into a really low rate.
Yeah.
So our episodes are old compared to what we're talking about now.
Yeah. Well, back in 2002, 3, 4, 5, low rates.
So and let me just kind of throw this out real quick because I've been doing this. A friend of mine's looking to buy a house.
Yeah.
And let's just cut basic crap. Okay. So, and people are going to say that's not a thing, but let's just go a $200,000 house. Does that sound fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So a $200,000 house at a 3.5% interest is with principal and interest is $900. Okay. So you have your insurance and your taxes, which taxes have gone up only when the price of the house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same whether it was then or now that you're paying the 200. Okay. Now 200 today at 7%, so double, right, is at 1331. So we go from 3.5, so 900 to 1331. That's $530, and you have to pay
430, but yeah.
Right, 430, yeah. But you're paying this. You're used to paying one certain amount. Now if you refied from a low introductory rate at 2% up to a 7. No, I don't know many people that can budget another $450 or $430 in their life.
No.
Right. Or, per month.
And of course, this happened back in 2008.
No.
And because they couldn't, what happened?
Every foreclosure happened.
Defaults on the loans.
And then we as taxpayers bailed out.
Because
Chase, Wells Fargo.
we were told we had to.
Of course.
We couldn't let the financial market fail.
Right.
Which was horseshit. We didn't have to.
We didn't fail.
Right. They failed.
So the funny thing is the people still got their houses foreclosed.
Yes.
We still dealt with the whole brunt of everything.
Yep.
We did all of this. And then we as people are paying for it.
So the thing I love about Silicone Valley?
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, don't worry, taxpayers aren't paying this one.
But
where the fuck do you think this money's coming from?
But the thing I love about it is, you know what they did right before they announced that they were going under?
The CEO, yes.
And board.
Yep. And the board, yes, the whole entire thing.
Took bonuses.
I think the CEO, and quote me folks, tell me I'm wrong. I want to say it was 3 million. It might have been 4 million that he took.
Yeah, something like that.
Like right before, and then comes out hours later.
Yeah,
and it's like, hey,
yep, we have no money.
We're out.
And we'll get into the specifics on why they have no money.
Yep.
But let's talk about Dodd-Frank a little bit first.
Please.
So coming out of this, the two of the lawmakers, I want to get their names right. Christopher Dodd from Connecticut and Barney Frank from Massachusetts, which is why it's the Dodd-Frank Act, got together, wrote some legislation to help ensure that the factors that happened in 2008 could not happen in the future.
So we don't have to default ever again.
Correct. And this was written with a Democratic president and a Democratic Congress.
Yep.
And got passed right before it switched back to a Republican Congress. Republicans were up in arms. They hated it. It was horrible for the American people, which it was horrible for the bankers.
Correct.
Not necessarily for the American people.
It was horrible for the people. Okay, so right? And not just the bankers, not okay. When we think bankers, right? We as people, we think the frontline person that's a teller, right?
Right.
That's giving us our when I go in to
It's
get a
the
check.
people that own the bank.
Correct.
It's
And
JP Morgan Chase, it's Bank of America. Back then, the big mortgage lender was Countrywide, which was absorbed by Bank of America.
and so right when we're talking, it's bad for the business itself, not
Yes.
for the employees necessarily. I mean, granted, it's bad for this because they're now out of jobs.
Well, one of the big things the Republicans were selling people on were it's really bad for your small community banks because they can't do the same type of things big banks can do. So you can't hold them to the same standards, which the smaller banks weren't the ones lobbying for this. It was the big banks. The big banks wanted regulations lessened so that they can continue to do what they do, which is reap huge rewards.
So, right, like in my industry, the complete opposite is actually true, right? Okay, so do you know how I can't even think of a small business break room therapy is financed? I mean, besides cash, like, do you know how a break room therapy would be financed?
I do, yes.
Right, like it's going to be a credit union.
It's a credit union or smaller types of banks.
Right.
So we got our first loan was actually a big bank. It was Goldman Sachs.
Okay.
It was a Marcus loan through Goldman Sachs. But the two other loans that we have are from the Small Business Administration, which is the government.
Yep. SBA.
And Quicken.
Yep.
Because we use QuickBooks to do our payroll.
Yep.
So they don't literally give a loan to us. They give us a line of credit, which, you know, we tell them how much we want. They say, well, okay, well, you have this line for 18 months. Use it however you want. But in 18 months, we're taking this amount of money out every month. It'll be paid off in those 18 months.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's how we finance this business.
Yep.
And obviously, you know, sales go and pay off those things.
And Quicken is not the top tier banks, right?
No.
It started in Detroit, right? Detroit guy. And so, right, like you're telling me it's small, it's bad for these small banks, but like the small banks are the ones that invest in the communities, right? For me, we have a place called the Wynn Tavern, right? It's not financed through Chase, right? Like, okay, you know who's financed through Chase? Ford, GM, right? You know, granted, and their stock portfolio they're offering, so the American people that trust in them,
right?
But
so, you know, when we look at Dodd-Frank, some of the main things they were trying to cover, financial stability for, you know, banks and insurance companies and lenders. They didn't want the ability for these institutions to fail as easily as what they could.
Right.
And if they failed, they didn't want the burden to then return to the taxpayers like what it did in 2008. That was hugely unpopular. I mean, you know, when Bernanke came out and Bush came out and they're like, well, we have to rescue the bank. People were not happy. You know, and it's probably one of the main reasons that Obama got elected the first time, because the public was fed up with the Republican bullshit. You know, we were sitting here looking at a horrible economy and things had to change. So they flipped the script.
And that's what always happens, right? Like,
Always.
when you don't like, if the economy goes bad right now, right? I mean, I don't see that we're going to have a Democratic president because they don't like what it's headed, right?
Well, and even with the way the economy is now, again, part of it's going to be on who runs.
Yep.
I don't think Trump can win.
No, God,
I
no.
just don't.
Just zero chances.
And I don't think he'll get the Republican nomination.
He already lost once.
And whoever gets the Republican nomination, I don't think can win, because I think Trump's going to run as an independent.
Right.
And he's going to siphon off votes. So Biden will get reelected for good or for bad.
Yep.
And hopefully, you know, Congress will stop bickering about bullshit and find a way to pull out of this.
And I don't know if we want to sidetrack about that.
Go ahead.
So let's talk about Congress real quick. Okay. So, and guys, I'm sorry, today's Tuesday for us.
Yes.
Pi
Day 3/14.
Yeah. So this happened
Friday.
or Saturday. Yeah, sorry. So it's been a busy couple days. So this happens, and midnight or something, from what I seen, right? Congress calls an emergency meeting,
Correct.
and people show up via Zoom. They show up wherever they can, like, and Congress just said, "This is what the fuck we're doing." This is, and for the first time ever, they accomplished something quickly and nipped it right then. Like, good for them for actually taking action.
Yep.
It shows that they actually care. And the fact that they're saying, hey, this isn't going to come out of taxpayer dollars. We're just going to, but it's like, really, you are. You're just going to put it into more debt, and the debt is us, right?
Yep.
And, you know, we want to be a country, but our national debt is us, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't see anybody paying into it when they die.
Well, and I'm gonna get boring here for a minute. I'm
Yeah.
going to read some of this because I think there are some important points in the act that we want to cover.
Yeah.
So, talking about the financial stability under the Dodd-Frank Act, the Financial Stability Oversight Council and the Orderly Liquidation Authority monitor the financial stability of major financial firms. Okay, J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Capital One,
right?
But also, companies that failed before, like if Lehman Brothers was still around, they would be lumped into that.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of talk that Credit Suisse is going to default from Switzerland.
Yep.
There's good possibility that'll happen because, again, some of these banks are shady with how they're raising their capital, and that's where Silicon Valley comes in, and we'll get to that. The law provides for liquidations or restructurings via the Orderly Liquidation Fund. The fund was established to assist with the dismantling of financial companies that have been placed in receivership to prevent tax dollars from being used to prop up such firms, which is what we were talking about. They did not want taxpayers to have to bail out banks for banks' stupidity. And it's not stupidity, it's greed. It's really bank greed.
It's both. I mean,
probably yes.
Right. Because I mean, sorry, I don't want to get off on tangents, but okay, when you get pitched on something and you try, okay, so if I came to you and said, David, I need $250,000 and I'm going to raise that for 4 people. Well, the federal government states that I can't do that because you're not what's called an accredited investor.
Yeah.
You don't have $1 million net worth that is not including your house, right? And you might, but I'm just saying, like, and so I have to use accredited investors. So what accredited basically states is, hey, if you have $1 million, that means you kind of know what the hell you're doing. We trust in that fact, and you could take the risk that you want to take. But if I sell it to you, 50,000, and you know, you go out and split 5 off to get your 50s, right? Everybody's like, man, this is going to make money. This is going to make money. And if it fails, like, I'm held completely liable for it. Yeah. Because, hey, you guys believed in my dream that, hey, yeah, I'm going to invest in this, and it failed. That's the whole point of this is, if I can't do it as a small person, why are these large people able to do it at a large scale? Right. So
the firm, the Financial Stability and Oversight Council, has the authority to break up banks that are considered so large as to pose a systematic risk. So Silicon Valley, is that going to pose a systematic risk?
No,
probably not. Maybe to that region, but not to the United States as a whole. Now, if we were talking J.P. Morgan Chase, would that be a systematic risk?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely, because they have their hands in everything.
Well, they're all over the U.S., right?
Yeah, they're national.
We don't have a Silicon Valley bank here, right?
No.
We have a Chase here. I've been to Chase in New York. I've been to Chase in Las Vegas. I've been to Chase in Texas, right? Like, they're a national bank, right? So that's what they're trying to avoid, is these national things.
The council can force banks to increase their reserve requirements, and that's where
they screwed up.
They really screwed up, and as again, we will get to that.
Yep.
Some of the other things, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is given the job to prevent predatory mortgage lending and help consumers understand the terms of a mortgage before agreeing to it. This really comes in with things like subprime mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
So how subprime mortgages work is you get a 30-year loan, but a 5 or 7 year term for that loan.
Correct.
So you have either a 5 or a 7 year locked in interest rate.
Mhm.
And when that time expires, you get whatever the new interest rate is, prime plus whatever.
Mhm.
Now, where this got popular was the early 2000s. So they sold a ton of these in 2000, 2001, 2002. And by 2007, these 7-year teaser rates were expiring. Or some of the ones that were a little later, the 5-year teaser rates were expiring. And as Nick said earlier in his example, you went from a $900 loan to a $1,300 loan. And now you have to make up an extra $400 a month. And when people went to refinance these, home values had lowered.
Yep.
So their house that they bought for $200,000 and they owed, let's say, $185,000 on, was worth $160,000.
Yep.
And they couldn't refinance it because they owed more than what it was worth. So they were stuck now paying double the percent that they used to pay. So their options were default on the loan or pay an extra $430 a month.
Right.
And the vast majority of people defaulted on their loans.
Yep.
Which put us in a huge recession, the Great Recession.
Yep. I mean, it was 3 years, right?
Yeah. So that kind of covers what Dodd-Frank itself was.
Well, and that's, so I guess, right, I hope that people understand. So, when we get when we talk about a traditional FHA loan, right?
Mhm.
And so when you amortize something, an amortization is a payment structure over a course of time.
Yep.
Right. So it's normally, and you hear about people like, hey, you can do a 15-year, you can do a 30-year,
Mhm.
right? And most people will take the payment. You can do it with your car too.
Yep.
Hey, a 3, a 5, a 7-year amortization. But so we get a 30-year. And again, so in year 5, you're locked in.
Mhm.
Okay. So now you have 25 years left to pay. You're still at that, but your new interest rate goes at that point, right?
Yes.
Now there's loans on a different scale where it's a 20-year amortization and then you have a 5-year lock-in.
Mhm.
And what happens at the 5-year is it actually re-amortizes for another 20 years. Okay. So in theory, you pay down your debt, but it just keeps prolonging for a while. And then you eventually get to that point of, hey, I have a big chunk to pay down. So, notes aren't called. So notes is what it's called. A mortgage, right? It's a mortgage note. And when it's get called, what happened a lot in 2008, 9 and 10 was businesses and things like that, right? There was a bowling alley here where the note got called, right? They just did an expansion type thing. It's $1 million and they're like, hey, we can't lend this million to you anymore. And HELOCs were, a thing. So like HELOCs were getting called too. And so it's like, hey, we're no longer comfortable having this money out. We need it back in house because people are trying to take their money out and it's too much going out. We need it back. Pay us right now. Otherwise you're foreclosing. It happened to Klingman's right on 28th for us. Their note got called. Nobody can bail them out. They don't have the cash sitting around. And so, it's literally pay, you have 60, 90 days, whatever it is to pay. And if not, you're done. So, that's why I don't get myself into too many of those mortgages because the note can get called at any time. If I don't have the cash, I don't do it.
Well, and that's something that, we had the Great Depression in 1929.
Yep.
And, for anybody that doesn't have a good understanding of what happened during the Great Depression, it's people had their money in the banks.
Yep.
And banks started to have people take money out.
Mhm.
So let's say we have a bank here. It's Nick and David's bank.
Yep.
Okay. And we give we have 10 people that have given us $1,000 each. So we have $10,000 in our bank.
Yep.
And we go and we loan that $10,000 out, and we decide, okay, we have to have cash here in case somebody comes in. So we won't loan 10 out. We'll loan 9 out, $9,000 out.
Yep.
So people are making payments on that $9,000 that we've loaned out, and we have this 1,000 for when people come in. And then 4 people decide, I need my money now.
Yep.
And they all come at the same time to withdraw their $1,000. I don't have $4,000 for you. I have 1,000.
1,000 in cash.
And what happened was people ran to the bank.
Mhm.
They literally called it a bank run.
Mhm.
People ran to the bank to take their money out, and the banks ran out of money, all of them, which led to the Great Depression because there was no money. They had loaned it. They didn't have enough in reserves to cover a large sum of people taking their money out. And, you know, it took Roosevelt 3 terms to turn the nation back around, really.
Right.
Really, World War II helped to bail this nation out because, you know, war's expensive and you make money at it. The same type of thing in 2008. You know, they had loaned this money out to these people, and these people started to foreclose. Well, if you're foreclosing on a house that somebody owes $180,000 on, and it's worth 160,
You're out 15,000 bare minimum.
yeah, and that's if you can sell it to somebody for 160.
Correct.
But at that point, they're not getting that on the foreclosure sale.
Yep.
They're getting maybe 120.
Right.
So now you're out 70,000, you know, with your fees.
Yep.
You know, do the math, do it, but times 10 people.
You say just 10, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's $700,000, right?
Yeah.
And
it wasn't like,
this was millions.
yeah, it wasn't like 10 people were foreclosing a day. 10 people were foreclosing an hour.
Right. And plain and simple, that's what it was. An hour, right?
So that's how we got into this. So Dodd-Frank came and put things in place that would help change that.
Yep.
And then something happened in 2016. A Republican president got elected.
Well, I guess before that.
Sure.
So what they put into place, right?
Mhm.
They came and stated, hey, here's a financial figure, and it happened to be $250 billion,
Dollars,
right?
yes.
That a bank had to have in order to start making different financial decisions, right? Like, hey, you can go above this. Now, the FDIC, which we talk about, right? Every one of yours and mine and most people. So the problem, okay, so Silicon Valley is one of the wealthiest areas
Yes.
in the nation. So those people, okay, so let me finish my statement. So we are promised coverage. So if anybody steals our money out of our account, anything, we're promised $250,000 worth of coverage.
Yes.
So her account, that's how much each is insured for.
Yes.
The government says, hey, you'll always have it, it'll always be there. Well, Silicon Valley people, I mean, they make millions a year, right? And so their bank accounts are above this aspect of things, right? I mean, and they're not just going to open 10 different accounts and so, hey, here, like, do this, my account's filled. And so they're a bigger backed
Mhm.
bank, right? And so, yeah, like, just know that in order for these regulations, there was a $250 billion thing put into place that stated, hey, you have to have this in order to be able to.
It's a asset threshold.
Correct. Right. So of assets, that's what you have to have.
Yes. Which back when they put it into effect was affecting about 24 bank holding companies.
Right. And we've named like at least half of those
Yeah.
on this episode already.
Yeah. So what happened in 16 was Trump was elected.
Yep.
And Republicans immediately wanted to go after this because their lobbyists did not want banks to have that high of a threshold.
Mhm.
They wanted a much lower threshold because they wanted to continue to bring in record profits.
Yep.
So Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and them got together and passed some legislation, which was not really bipartisan.
Mhm.
And Trump signed it into effect in 2018. to roll back parts of Dodd-Frank, one of them being the $250 billion threshold down to a $50 billion threshold.
Which still sounds like a shit ton of money.
It does.
But now when you do the math, that's an 80% cut.
Yeah. So under section 165 of the Dodd-Frank, bank holding companies with at least 50 billion in total consolidated assets were subjected to enhanced prudential standards. Under the act, the enhanced prudential standards no longer applied to bank holding companies below $100 billion. So if you had less than $100 billion, you didn't have to follow any of these regulations anymore. So that led us to Silicone Valley Bank, which what happened was they decided a couple years ago to take a bunch of the money and throw it into some high interest bonds. Because a couple years ago, interest rates were low. So a high interest bond was like 1.8. And they were making money on that. And now, because interest rates have gone up, bond values are shit. So people looking to borrow money are getting a, 6.5% interest rate. So if you go to the bank now, because of course they don't have to keep this higher threshold anymore in assets, you go to the bank and you're like, hey, I need my money, and all these other people need their money. The bank, all they can do is sell what they have, which isn't worth what it was when they put their money into it.
Right. Well, and they played the fact that they assumed interest rates would stay low forever.
Yes.
Right. Or, they wouldn't get to the point that they are.
Yes.
And plain and simple, interest rates got there. Right. And now their money's being invested at 1%, and they're losing out on the extra 6. So now people are like, hey, I need my money to go invest because you and I can go get a CD for 4%.
Yep.
And at 4%, so right, we talk about that in our financial life. If you want to never touch your principal in your investments, you need to earn 4% on average on your money. And live off of that interest rate. So you'll pull that. So it's $1 million will give you $40,000 a year. So you pull the 40, you live off of that, you have $1 million invested, and you'll never touch that $1 million. So, right. I mean, my daughter has a CD. We talked about that. She's getting 4%. So right now, I mean, if that's all you need is the basic, you're not trying to be risky, you're not trying to do things, you go do that, right? I mean, hell, if I have a guaranteed 4% that gives me the guaranteed life that I want, I'm going to do it, but I don't have, it's not around all the time. I mean, God, we just talked, CDs were at 0.13. Okay. 0.13. Like it was.
That's not even half of a percent.
It's not like it's a tenth of it's not even it's not even a 20th of a percentile. Right. And you look at savings accounts, right? We brag that we get 3% on our Chase account, or our Lake Michigan credit union accounts. And, on my Flagstar, I'm getting 0.1, maybe, right? It might be 0.12. It's just insane. Like, so these banks were hedging that things would stay so low for so long. And here we were getting 0.1 and this bank was getting 1.1, right? So we're a percent,
beating it.
We're a percent higher. We're 1.5% higher. We're so much better. And now you're not.
No, because everybody's giving 4.
Correct.
And you're sitting there making way less money. Your money is tied up in shit that's not making you anything.
And you can't just sell.
No.
Right.
So on Wednesday, March 8th, the parent company for Silicone Valley Bank, the SBV Financial Group, said it would undertake a $2.25 billion share sale after selling 21 billion of securities from its portfolio at nearly a $2 billion loss. This move was meant to shore up its balance sheet. Instead, it spooked markets and clients. The share price plunged on Thursday. By Friday morning, trading of the stock was halted, and there was reporting SVB was in talks to sell. Big name VCs such as Peter Thiel, who's a piece of shit, and Union Square Ventures reportedly started to tell their companies to pull all of their money out of the bank while they could.
Mhm.
They did a bank run.
Yeah.
And the bank failed.
Quickly.
Yes.
And that's right. So, let's break that down. Okay. So 2.25 billion share sale. Okay.
Yeah.
After selling 21 billions of its securities. Okay. So you have a bank that's in this threshold of the 100,000, 50 billion, right?
Yep.
Or let's say they're at 100 billion. I don't know the exact numbers, but now you've taken 20% of your stuff and now you've taken a loss. So if you look at Nike and it goes from $100 and then it cuts itself and it says, hey, we're only actually worth $60.
Yep.
People have lost 40. So, hey, you're no longer secure. I want my money back because I'm going to go to a secure place.
Right.
And so everybody's like, hey, you're no longer secure. You took a $2 billion loss. Like I'm out. And all these people who are like, hey, I understand that you're broke. Like, see ya. And then I want in as quick as possible. Right. And so people took their money.
And understandably so. I'm going to read you a couple of quotes. So don't look at my screen. One was by Paul Ryan. One was by Nancy Pelosi. You tell me which quotes to who, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, quote number one. I have to find it. Our smaller banks are engines of growth. By lending to small business and offering banking services for consumers, these institutions are and will remain vital for millions of Americans who participate in the economy.
That's the moron Nancy Pelosi.
That's Paul Ryan.
Okay.
Paul Ryan said that because he wanted the Dodd-Frank Act rolled back to, and I quote, free our economy from overregulation.
Mhm.
The other quote, which you already know, is Pelosi. It's a bad bill under the guise of helping community banks. The bill would take us back to the days when unchecked recklessness on Wall Street ignited a historic financial meltdown. What the fuck just happened?
Wasn't it called Black Monday?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you watch The Wolf of Wall Street, which everybody should,
Great movie.
say, right, like our nation's money literally went to shit. Like it. So when going back into that thing, right?
Yeah.
Trades halted. When the government steps in and halts your trade, so that way you can't lose money, you can't gain money, you can't do anything. We're going to officially say, hey, you can no longer take money out, right?
Mhm.
Because you're gonna bankrupt it. And it's illegal for somebody to go into a place and bid it up ridiculously crazy, make the stock worth something, and then trade it off, right? You're instantly trading, changing the price of a worth, right? And so that's what it boils down to.
That's not technically illegal.
Say
It's not illegal because it's happened.
Right. Only if it's insider aspect of
correct. You can't insider do that.
Yep.
But I mean, we had this exact same conversation 2 years ago with Robinhood and the meme stocks.
Yep.
Because remember, all the kids were on Reddit going, hey, buy the shit out of GameStop and AMC and short sell the hell out of that shit. And we're going to make a ton of money. And they did.
Yep.
And they used Robinhood to do it because there were no fees to buy and sell.
They weren't shorting, right? They were raising.
They were raising the price.
Yes, because the other guys shorted it.
Right. The other people had shorted it. They ran the price up to screw their shorts over.
Yep.
And they ended up making a ton of money doing it.
Yep.
And Robinhood halted trading for all of those stocks because they couldn't supply
correct
the ability to buy them because they, of course, are owned by a big enough company that it spooked out all of actual investors in Robinhood itself. And they're like, no, you have to halt this because you're going to make us all go broke.
Yep.
So they did.
And
they lost a shit ton of money in the meantime because people that had their money in Robinhood were like,
See ya.
Fuck you. I'm out. I did it.
Right.
I had money in it. Caitlin had money in it. We transferred our shit right out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, you know, so again, but if one person does it, it's a problem, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to look at it, and I mean that's exactly what just happened here, right? I mean, people were shorting things, and hey, you expected that. It's not going to go, right? So when you short something, it means they put a limit and say, hey, it's going to be worth 2. Well, it's never going to get above that 2 mark. Granted, it's currently at 1. It'll never get to 2. So short. It gets above 2, now you're screwed, right? Which is where the $2 billion loss comes from.
Well, you know, and we should probably talk about movies during this episode.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite financial movies
Big Short.
is, but not this one, Trading Places.
You and I both love that movie.
So when you watch the end of Trading Places, most people don't understand what is happening. So at the end of the movie, for anybody that hasn't seen it, it came out in 1982. If I'm spoiling it for you, you're fucked.
If you haven't seen it yet, that's your problem.
So what happens is Lewis and Billy Ray go and steal the crop report for the frozen concentrated orange juice so that they knew what the government was going to say about the crops. And they fed the Dukes, played by Ralph Bellamy and Don Amici, false information. So they thought that it was going to be a really bad orange year and frozen concentrated orange juice was going to go through the roof. So they told their, person that was buying, buy it at whatever price, we don't care. So what happens is you're not handing over money when you do that. You're handing over a slip of paper that says what you'll pay for that item. So they went and bought all of these, promises of this stock. Okay. It got up to, I don't remember the number, let's say $200 a share. And Lewis and Billy Ray started saying, we're selling. So they started selling, and it started lowering the price because they're not selling at 200. They're selling at 180, 170, 160, 150. And they just sold all of these shares that they didn't own. And people started buying them. And it caused basically a type of bank run for everybody else to go, holy shit, the price is dropping. We need to get rid of this shit now before we lose all of our money, because we just bought a bunch of these at $180. All of a sudden, it's down to 80. So they let it drop so low, let's say $30 a share. And then Lewis and Billy Ray started buying them all. So they literally bought the shares after they sold it, and they sold it for a higher price than what they turned around and bought it for later. And they made all of this money and made the Dukes poor in basically getting kicked off of the exchange. And it's hard for people that don't come from a financial background to understand what's going on there. Because honestly, until, I started going to school and looking into this stuff, I didn't really understand that scene. I just thought it was funny as shit. But when you have that healthy understanding of what really went on there, it's even fucking funnier.
It's great.
Because and at the end,
I might have been a weird kid, because as a kid, like, I'm sitting here going, I get this.
Yeah, I did not understand. But once I did, I was like, oh my God, that is genius. They had nothing to sell.
Correct.
But they knew they could buy it back cheaper later. So they just sold it at a high price, bought it back cheaper later, and made all of this fucking money. And it was ingenious. And, there are a lot of great financial movies that if you go out there and you watch and you really start to dissect it, you'll understand what's going on. The Big Short's another one. You watch that, you'll get a healthy understanding of the recession. Hey, Trek fan, how you doing? I have a feeling this is Chris.
I'm guaranteeing it is.
I have been watching some Trek, Chris.
Let's
Somebody
not talk
else
about
is
that.
not.
Let's not talk about that.
I do love Tribs. We gotta talk to him
I
again.
gotta figure out. I was gonna ask him because I seen this. What's the? Is there a Kirk Spock?
Yeah.
There's like a miniseries. I was gonna see if I can cheat and do just the
Picard?
miniseries. Yeah, Picard. Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's a couple seasons of Picard.
All right, I'll watch that.
He's had to watch one season of one show.
I know. I'm gonna do it.
I started with Enterprise. We'll see how that goes. But
So
but anyway, there are a lot of great movies. Wolf of Wall Street, you mentioned, great movie.
Great movie.
Wall Street, the original with Michael
Eaton.
Douglas.
Douglas, sorry, yeah.
Great movie.
Yep. Well, okay, so Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that because I love the movie because my wife, she knows that if it's just what I want to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that extravagant. So, you know, he Ponzi schemed it in the sense of, okay, so he sold these fake things and never actually bought the stock, right? He just then traded money with people and he didn't actually buy the stuff. So he used the money to do it that way.
Yeah.
Which is completely illegal. So
well, again, Bernie Madoff, how did he make his money?
rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, basically that's what it was. He would sit there and go, I can guarantee you 8% on your money. You just have to give me your money.
Yep.
So people just started handing him money over. And when somebody wanted money, he just got another investor to go, oh, here's my money. If you can give me 8%, and you just pay off the other guy.
Yep. Right. And say, you can give me 5%. Great. I can get you 6. Here you go. And
Yeah.
pay off a little bit. And so that way it never catches on. And, you know, then you need 2, 3 people to, yep. But right. And that's another movie where I guess if you're not, because you're so into like the scenes of it, you won't catch on to actually what's happening in this movie. You just watch money flying around.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of my favorite opening lines I've ever heard come out of anybody's mouth, right? I made $49 million last year. And that pissed me off. I was 3 million short of $1 million a week. I was like, damn, I need that. Right. Like, you know, and just to think that, right? Most people don't think that way. And I'm sitting here going, that's what I want right there. $1 million a week. Turn that into $1 million a day. Turn that, you know, like I want to be able to have the Bill Gates idea. Let $100 fly out the window.
Yeah.
Do it all. I will literally just do it for fun. You know, I mean,
well, again, you've said how many times it costs him more money to bend over
To
and pick up that $100 bill than it does just to walk over.
Yeah. Well, you know, and when you have money, it's nothing. So as much as people don't like Floyd Money Mayweather, right? I mean, the guy comes to Grand Rapids, acts like a complete asshole, which is fine, but he takes a duffel bag and just throws $10,000 out in the crowd and goes, fight over it, bitches, right? And just people will fight over little bits of money because it doesn't, $10,000 doesn't mean crap to him.
Right.
Right. Just plain and simple. Doesn't mean anything.
You know, my wife loves him.
Good.
You know why?
Because he's from Michigan.
No. So when she worked at one of the hotels, him and his staff all stayed there. And he was nice as nice could be to her and everybody that was there. I mean, literally when we got married, he was going to fly us to his next fight in Vegas.
Nice.
And that fight ended up getting called off because whoever he was fighting didn't pass physical, which sucks. Cause I mean, he got us like a suite and it was, we had no money. I mean, he knew we were broke as fuck. Yeah. So he rolled out the red carpet because he liked how well Dawn took care of him at the hotel. Yeah. But his next fight ended up being in Grand Rapids. So, I mean, we got free tickets to Van Andel to watch him fight, which was still fine.
Sure, but
it just wasn't a free trip, which would have been even nicer. But Floyd was really nice to her, so she likes him. And, you know, when somebody's nice to you, I mean, those things happen. Now, did he beat the shit out of his baby mama?
At least 5 of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, that happened. But, you know, other people have different response. I mean, is Drunk David and Drunk Nick assholes? Oh, totally assholes.
More than people know.
But you know,
and what gets me right now is, okay, so, and I have to choose my words carefully because there's always a situation for things. Now, okay, it was $250 billion that you had to have, right? And David, did you see any effects? Did you see any banks going out of business? Did you see any aspects of things, right?
No.
Did it impact anything of your life?
No.
That you couldn't do? Okay. So what I'll say is, these people were fighting for something that wasn't affecting the American person themselves, right? But to lower it to 50 million, and now we see that lowering it affects the American person. It affects a bunch of people. So, and you're going to tell me that Trump wasn't wrong? Like, that's the thing that bothers me is just admit when you're wrong, you screwed up, fix it. Right.
Right.
And hey, you know what? We're not going to change it back. Right. We're not going to sit here. You think you know better, but you don't. We've proven that people don't. Right. That's the kind of things that get to me when people talk about this.
Well, it's irritating because, again, if you fuck up, just admit the mistake. Hey, you know what? I made a mistake. That's my bad.
Yep. And don't take $3 million right before you close.
Right.
And I hope that they get fined for every dollar for that.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous because all you're doing, and I mean, again, they're not getting consequences, which is why they do it. We would turn around and bailed all these banks out in 2008. And what did the shareholder or the board and the CEOs do? They took massive bonuses.
Yep. And still are making record profits and are not paying their employees any more money.
I get a call the other day, ring,
Ring.
from my mom.
Hi.
And she goes, so I heard that even though inflation's starting to come down, a lot of these companies have decided that people can pay what they're paying because they've been paying it for a year, so they're not going to lower any of their prices. Yup. She goes, what kind of bullshit is that? They don't fucking care.
Right.
You were paying $6 for a dozen eggs.
Yep.
And because you were paying $6 for a dozen eggs, you've set a new price.
Yep.
Eggs are now $6 a dozen.
You're now used to it. Granted, I picked them up for $2.50.
Okay, yeah, they will come down.
I get
but,
what you're saying, but
but
still,
will they come down to $1?
I say, but exactly, they were 99 cents,
Yeah.
right? So now they're, and that's what I said on the one episode. Like, I feel like, and lumber hasn't come back down to, 89 cents.
Pandemic prices.
$2 a board. It's still higher up there.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, it's not 12, it's 4 now, but still, like, it's double what they used to be,
Mhm.
right? And
Because they know we can absorb it.
it's exactly because you'll get used to it, right?
Yeah.
Just as much as truck payments, car payments, things like that. You're going to get used to this payment. And so, hey, you know what? You know how to make you used to this payment? I'll extend it out, right?
Mhm.
I'm waiting for, 50-year mortgages, right? I'm waiting for them to age factor people. Hey, you can get a 50-year mortgage if you buy in your 30s and less. If you're 40, you can get a 40-year mortgage. If you're or 50 and 40, right? We'll give you a 40. Yeah, it won't be paid off, but if you're in your 50s, we'll give you the standard 30. Just
Well, you look at it and we're so used to getting fucked over in this country that it doesn't, we don't necessarily notice it or care. We just get distracted by something else to bitch and moan about. We're bitching about wokeness or drag queens. Let me ask you something, not to get off on a tangent. Has that drag queen ever hurt you?
can't answer that on air.
So they have?
Of course.
How?
I can't answer that on air.
Okay.
I have friends that are. So whether it's physically, whether it's emotionally, whether it's anything.
Okay. A non-friend drag queen ever hurt you?
No, right?
Right.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
But I do have friends that are and all good fun, right? There's fun things that happen. Let's put it that way, right?
But people you don't know.
Have I been pulled on stage and had a good time? Yes, right.
That might
fun.
happen.
It's fun.
But I mean, they'll distract us with that type of bullshit while they're robbing us.
Yeah.
Because they can get us all worked up over a fucking drag queen or some stupid bullshit that's going on.
Right. Or, or even go back to the prices of things, right?
Yeah.
Hey, inflation. Hey, let's focus over here on this. Let's get inflation down. Inflation doesn't fucking matter if you're losing all of my money in the bank.
Yeah.
Like, officially, no matter how much inflation goes to, I'm still fucking broke. Like, when you have no money to pay me, if I have no money, I don't care how much things cost, right?
Right.
It's plain and simple why the poor don't care, right? No matter what I do, I'll never make it. Okay. And that's why I focus, and that's a great point that I want to reiterate, right? Like, so I tell you all the time, right? And I'm behind this: work hard, do things, like focus on you, make this happen, because you can make it. It's not fucking easy. Like, grind your ass away, make it happen. I'm not the poorest of fucking kids, right? But like, I don't come from any bits of well off, right? Like, my best friend's parents flew me on my first flight because I never thought that anybody could afford $200 for a flight, okay? Or whatever it was, $400, didn't matter. Like,
yeah,
I didn't know that people could actually do this. So when you're in that boat, why try, right? Why make the attempt? And that's most people's mentality.
Mhm.
I'll never be able to be a billionaire, so why make the attempt to get there? It's just so easy to live by right here. Well, you know what? It's the journey, it's the fun for me to get there. And so that's why I push for it, right? But like I see that other people don't have that same mindset,
Mhm.
right? I mean,
I was on Reddit today.
Yeah.
And
you're on a lot.
I am on Reddit a lot.
Yeah. I can't get into it's reading.
You don't like to read,
Plain and simple.
whereas I don't mind reading. I don't want to read like a big book or anything, but
Yeah.
you give me a little bit, I'm good.
Well, I'm saying no, I'll TikTok the Reddit subpages.
Right.
Like
You love that.
yeah, and I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a lot of good Reddits that way. You just don't have to read it. They read it for you.
Factual statement, right?
So this one was a lady was basically talking about being underwater, and she had gotten a new job, and the minute she got a new job, her husband ended up losing his, and it took him a while to get a job, and then he finally got a job, and they were finally starting, to get a little bit of traction, and he lost his job again. And I had a brief conversation with this person because they ended up deleting it because they were getting pounded by most people. And she had said something in there like, I feel like we don't have our shit together. And I read everything she wrote. I said, you have your shit together. He doesn't.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, she's busting her ass to make things happen. He's depressed in the basement.
Right.
That sucks. Okay. I get it. Been there. But at some point you got to go, I got to fucking do something for my family. I got to get up off my ass and make something work.
But when you feel like you've tried 2 times jobs, right?
I get it.
I went to, he'll be the only person I know that's talking, right? And I went to lunch with a friend of mine today. And is, we have tips and things that you kind of hear, right?
Mhm.
His wife makes very good money.
Mhm.
He's doing okay. We broke down our, what does he call it? Not your budget, but it's your, what's your guaranteed expenses a month,
Mhm.
right? And I broke mine down. Or so first he's like, mine is, and he has it down. It's like $5,800 a month, right?
Okay.
Between house payments, car
Mhm.
payments, everything. Okay. And he's like, what's yours? Okay. You asked for it. And like, mine's $1,200. That's my house. That's my car insurance. That's my utility bills. That's my, like everything, right? Like all in just to get by in life.
Mhm.
That's my life payment. $1,200, right? I included my cell phone bill, like, and stuff like that. And so I'm sitting here going, and I was like, so we live different lives, right? And here's what you need, like, and so we started breaking things down, and I'm just like, you can give up this. No, I can't do that. Look, I'm not going to be the guy to tell you, because that's the one thing that makes you happy. I'll never tell you to stop, and you get use out of it. You do, like, but you have to go somewhere. You have to figure out something, right? So go work, go do this, go flip this house. Like, and he keeps talking, hey, I need to flip a house. I need to do this. And I'm like, okay, you keep saying it, and I've heard it for long enough. Go fucking do it.
Yeah.
Well, I got to find the right one. What are you doing to find it? Well, I'm getting it from these. No, like, what are you doing to find it, right? You just told me you're relying on other people, and when you rely on other people, you'll never fucking make it. I'm not trying to be a dick about it. Plain and simple, you hold your own destiny at this point, right? So,
$5,600 a month.
Right. And mine is literally 12.
But I mean, I have everything in this. So, I mean, I have vet bills that may or may not happen. I have medical bills that may or may not happen. And actually, this has to be changed because I have medical bills at $667 a month.
Yeah.
And I went to a straight HMO now, so I pay less.
Right. Which is, you have your vet bills in there. But like, and to be honest, mine is probably, so what we ended up with like $240 more because I counted my and actually he called me out. He's like, oh, you're part of Planet Fitness now. Cause I remember I was like, oh, you're right. I have $25 because I don't have recurring bills. Right. I don't. And I told him, I was like, that was one of my biggest excuses. I hate bills that come out that I just can't control that aspect of. Like I have a betterment, and yes, it comes out every week, but it took me so long to get used to, that Thursday, all of a sudden I'm, however much money less in my account. I'm like, damn it. I budgeted and I forgot about that. Right. And I hate that forget about aspect of things.
Well, and I really need to go over this because I have $1,500 this is for my mortgage because I'm throwing extra money at it.
Yep.
I don't spend $1,500 a month. I spend 12 maybe.
Sure. Well, and then right, so it's time to relook at it and update.
Yeah.
But so when you look at that, we in comparison, right? I mean, and granted, mine's not counting all of my rentals
Properties,
and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, it is strictly my life, my thing. I'm so low,
Mhm.
like so low, and it's because I've built my life that way, right? I want my
You don't need a lot of extra stuff.
I mean, granted, you've seen my house. You and I have
Yeah.
a lot of shit.
We do, but
but
I'm talking like you lived for so long without internet. You didn't have TV. I mean, there extra stuff. You would rather go out and buy a steak.
that's a fact, right? Like the moments of happiness is worth so much more.
Well, and you would love the pool if the pool didn't cost what it costs.
Right, plain and simple.
But you hate the fact that you have to pour money into the pool, which is why you hate the fucking pool.
Exactly. I go to Florida and I am in the pool every fucking day.
Yeah. We were in the pool all the time on boat.
I'm not maintaining it.
Right.
I'm not.
You're not paying for
not
it?
paying for it, right? But like, yeah, knowing the cost and stuff like that, like it ruins it for me, right? Plain and simple ruins it for me. It's not the work. Work no matter what happens. And the problem is like every time I have to work in the pool, it's during my time that I'm fucking busy.
Yeah.
Right? Because nobody's going to work on their pool at midnight.
Right.
If they get spotlights out there,
You should.
I would have no problem working on it butt ass naked at 10 o'clock at night. And say, but like, and that might be a thing I should look into is actually getting more lights out there. I have the one, but yeah, and clean it at night versus, during the busy hot day when they finally want to use it. Right. Or get my lazy butt up really early and then go out and actually do it.
Right.
So that's a thing I might try to do. I mean, now that I have my life that I have.
Right. Well, I mean, when we look at things, and honestly, not to go from talking about Dodd-Frank and this bank failure to our personal shit, but I think that's what we're doing now. You look at budgets, you look at where money's going and what you have to cut. So like, you and I have talked about my medical debt.
Yep.
I finally got it down to about $7,000. They just billed for Dawn's surgery from August.
Yeah.
It's over 11 again.
Yep.
What do I can't do shit about it.
Say, right? You
Pay
can,
it.
Yeah, you can call and get 20% discount. Say, but you have to have the money to pay it, right?
And I don't know if they'll actually give it.
Right. Well, say right now, I don't know, but and then you go back to that, and it's just, the more and your budget is so yours is actually different, right? You have gas in yours.
Yeah. I have literally anything I'm spending money on a month. I have restaurants in there.
Yeah. See, and this is strictly the guaranteed money that comes out of your account on a constant.
Mhm.
So I don't want to give away too much about, but like, let's just say he has a timeshare.
Mhm.
So that maintenance fee, so his $800, his mortgage, which is substantial, like his HELOC, that is now a huge payment, right? His truck payment, his wife's car payment, that. So like that, the guaranteed, right? Like not, and that includes internet or whatever, but like not gas, right? Not food, not things that you choose how much you can spend on.
Mhm.
It is just guaranteed that's getting withdrawn from your account,
Mhm.
right? And so that's the only way we broke it down. So yes, do I spend more? I spend way more than that. I'm not afraid, but like just what is if I got shut down and the whole world had to stop again, just like what I'm probably one of the only people that made money on COVID.
Yeah.
Right. Plain and simple, because I just did nothing, right? Like my budget for that period of time was because I went into panic mode. I mean, we ate pasta.
Hot dogs.
So, right. Very much, very, very, very budget friendly food. I mean, we're talking $10 a day for the whole family for food. And, sure, I had cases of beer.
Entertainment was the
board games, the pool, stuff that was already
at home.
Stuff that was already paid for, right? Like plain and simple, we did not go out to eat. We didn't do anything, right? So like now I'm making more than that, like, and so I'm not spending. I'm not at the time. I wasn't using gas. I wasn't using literally
Nobody was
just. So I actually made money because I just didn't live life, right? Sure, was I happy? No,
No.
fuck no, right? I was happy when you guys were like, hey, let's do trivia on Zoom.
Yeah.
Hey, my wife would be like, hey, let's play board games, let's do this. Like, that's like, and it was a great little calming aspect.
When we got to the point where we were allowed to go some places and we had safe people, you were safe people,
Yeah.
Mike was safe people.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, you want us to come over? We can hang out at the pool. And you're like, yeah, sure. Come on.
Nope.
We'll eat some hot dogs and drink some beer. Perfect.
Plain and simple, right? And it was just,
Hey, Nick, you want to hop on a Zoom call and we talk about fucking money for 3 hours? Oh, super. Let's get some beer.
Yep. And say, and sure, mine's already prepaid. Let's go,
Yeah.
because my cellar is
Stocked.
still. I just found another case of beer. But right, like, and given the little bits, like, I'm very proud of what I've done in that sense. Like, laying it out today made me so happy, and like, not comparing myself to him, but like,
Yeah.
not comparing myself to you in this sense, like, just how, like, proving to the world and what we do. And I told him this multiple times, if you want it bad enough, you'll do what it takes, right? I felt so bad for myself however long ago, and I was like, man, things are like not where they're supposed to be. And I was like, look, I bought my first house making $12.25 an hour.
Mhm.
My wife was making nothing, $10 an hour, right? Like, that's with tips and stuff. But like, people are like, oh, how can you be a waitress? She worked at a place called Russ's that closes at 9 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's just call people tip $1 and think that's a lot of money.
Yeah. It's mostly old people.
Very much, right? Like, she would tell me, they'd set a stack of quarters on the thing and be like, that's your tip. If you don't do well, I'm taking a quarter
Yeah.
back. And she's like, I'm not doing well. I don't really give a shit about your fucking dollar, shove it.
Yeah.
But and so I looked at it and said, man, I was happier then. We did whatever we wanted aspect of things. Like, my basic budget, my basic life never changed.
Mhm.
Right? Like, I have my house payment is now, to be honest with you, it probably, I don't remember my first payment because I've refinanced that place since, but it might be $100 more, right? Plain and it's like that. Those taxes are probably the same as what I was paying or what I'm paying now, but really, like, for 13 years of my life now, $1,200 is all I've needed to maintain. So
Yeah.
if I really want to be cheap, and people see it, right? Like, mostly my wife, because she's like, why are you eating hot dogs here? Why aren't you out eating, euros and doing this? And no, like, I don't have money. Like, I'm broke, And so it's just, Nick, when I feel broke, like, I shut down.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Like, one meal is fine with me. Like, I don't need 2 hot dogs. One's fine.
Yeah.
And if I'm hungry, I'll eat another one later and another one. So I have 3 hot dogs in the day. This 8-pack's going to last me 3 days.
Right.
Plain and simple. Like, and again, I'm right now, and I post it sometimes just to make myself feel good. I'm like, I remember when I was broke as shit, and now we have guests come over, and I have pops at home, I have Kool-Aids and things, and I'm like, oh, I spent $40 on drinks. It's anything you guys want, basically, over there. When I say alcohol, I granted I have alcohol, but like, hey, we go buy bags of chips and I buy this, but like, if it's me, I buy knockoff Doritos.
Mhm.
I buy the 89-cent Meyer brand of bread.
Yep.
And that's a hamburger bun, that's a hot dog bun,
Yeah.
and that's a
It
sandwich.
covers everything.
A fact, right? Like, and
When we were kids, that covered everything.
so, that's exactly it. And so the whole point is right, financially responsibility is huge to me. This bank and Dodd-Frank and where they're headed, they set it to where they don't want you to fail. Like, here's what we feel like you can't fail.
Mhm.
So, and these people thought they were smarter than people, and they screwed it up.
Well,
And
and
it might be.
a lot of the problem is, when we look at the politicians,
Mhm.
Again, you and I have said we don't fit into any of these political ideologies.
Nope.
When it comes to social issues, I'm very much a leftist.
Yep.
But when it comes to fiscal issues, I'm very much on the right side. But
Right, not very much, but yes, you're on the right side.
I'm pretty
Well, minimum
conservative.
minimum wage.
okay. So I lean right.
Yeah, where I am way more right than you.
You are, yeah.
Like, plain and simple. The only reason I think defunding the police is a thing is because it's going to save money. I also want the whole world to stop acting up, right? So I wish there was this awesomeness in life where people wouldn't do this. But,
You know, and I don't want to,
you know.
I don't want to jump on the cops here or anything, but you know, my biggest problem with cops in the United States,
Look like Coke. Sorry,
it does kind of look like Coke,
that's weird.
is training.
Yeah, they need more.
Police are well trained in other countries in the world, and here, you know, you go to the academy for what, maybe 6 months, maybe.
Yeah. Well, even if you talk about the train, okay. So my issue is that we as Americans are we our police are meant to bring in an income.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you go to other countries, and I watch videos, right, and you can't believe everything that's on the internet, but if you see it multiple times, it's a thing, right? So one of my favorite memes is like you look at the European cop car and it's neon yellow taped, it's bright, it says police right on
Yep.
top of it, stuff like that. And
No
it's-
mistaking it for anything else.
right. It is, you're there to serve and
Mhm.
protect, right? Like you are that's your you're not there to hide and give me a speeding ticket, right? Like, yes, you want to, but you know, our cops here are literally out to make money,
Yeah.
right? Our jail systems are out to make money. That's where
Well, they turned everything for profit.
everything.
It's a for-profit prison system. So how do you make money? You put more people in jail.
right? And for longer periods of time.
And that's what they want to do to the schools.
Mhm.
They want the schools to be for profit.
How do you do it?
You take and you stick them in school even fucking longer, and people fail and
Mhm.
they don't actually get taught anything.
Yep.
How do you control the masses? You control the education.
Fact.
You teach them what you want them to know, not what they necessarily should know. Dawn saw that there was some Civil War reenactment,
Yeah.
and some black people showed up with chains, and the white people lost their shit
Why?
because this isn't historically accurate. This isn't what we want to portray. And they went, "Excuse me." Yeah. Same response, Nick. But at the end of the day,
Like that's just
it's ignorant.
very much.
It's ignorant. But people want to romanticize.
Not as great as that last hour, but very good.
Yeah, not bad.
Sorry.
People want
Give me
to
a break.
romanticize history.
Right. Well, right.
History's not romantic. It's probably very, very bad.
I mean, okay, so no matter what it is in history, if it's known about, there's negative, right? A stupid example,
Mhm.
the Titanic.
Mhm.
What do you, well, Rose, great. What about the amount of people that died?
Mhm.
You don't know them. You don't know anything. Like, you know, there's the few people that they were my ancestors. They know about that aspect.
Yeah.
But like, plain and simple is, right? If I showed up, right, it'd be like me being the trumpet person, right? Like playing it. And so, you know, history is, it's not meant to repeat itself. That's a fact, right?
But it often does
Right.
because we don't really learn it.
And because you only see what you want to,
Mhm.
right? And that is, it's one thing I, you know, because, right, it's not something I studied. I wouldn't sit here and think about that until you're like, hey, you know, a bunch of black people showed up and changed. And I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. That's not what we want to portray. No, you only want to portray the good thoughts in the process. Hey, the North won and you guys are free because of it. Yeah, but they were still like they're portraying what it actually was, right? Like, you know, people get upset about the movies where, you know, there's slaves working out in the fields and things like that. And it's just, no, that wasn't like this is a
Even-
factual statement that happened. Okay.
Even when quote unquote Lincoln freed the slaves,
They weren't free.
they weren't free.
God, no.
There's
I'm trying to watch the Green Book, but they want to charge me $5. I've seen it before, but
Mhm.
I just keep watching it on TikTok.
Mm.
And I'm like, God, I do really enjoy that, right?
it's one of those things where, you know, we didn't get civil rights reforms until the 60s.
Right. Which
And
is
even then,
60s.
yeah, 1960s,
Right, like
not
think-
1860s.
Like, let's think about that, right? Like, my mom is 60 years old
Uh-huh.
and she was born in the 60s.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, as she's born, it starts changing.
Yeah.
Like,
and even then,
Yeah.
it wasn't done well.
no. I mean,
Minorities in this country have been treated horribly since the first fucking boat arrived from Europe.
yeah.
You know, so Wendy's been looking into my heritage, right? So she's traced back one ancestor to a Native American princess, and she's traced another ancestor back to one of the original passengers on the Mayflower. So I made the comment to Jim, great. I'm not only native to this land, but I'm also a colonizer. That's awesome. But that's also the truth.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a first generation American on my dad's side, but you know, on my mom's side, somebody way far back was born here. Now, it doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm just interested in what went on because I want to get a kilt.
Sure.
And I want it to be culturally appropriate.
Mhm.
So I basically said to Wendy, hey, can you trace it back to Ireland, wherever it was? And and again, I found out more Scottish and English than Irish. Okay, cool. But she had said to me at one point, I think you should do a DNA test because you know, it'll give you some more answers, but you need to be prepared for what it's going to be. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I really need to be prepared.
Right.
And she goes, well, if you talk to your mom about it, your mom needs to be prepared. I'm like, no, I don't think she does either. Because none of us have any romanticizing about our family history.
That's exactly it.
I know that my grandmother is my mother's mom. I know that my mom is my mom. I know that my aunt is my aunt. Any of the other family members, they could be, you know, the mailmans. I don't fucking know. And if they are, I don't really give a shit.
Right.
Doesn't matter to me.
And that's it, right? Like to me, I don't do it because I don't have a care. Not a single, like we talked about, I had a guy reach out to me on Facebook. Hey, are you this person? Oh, and I'm like, what? And, is this your mom and dad? You're a creeper. Hits me up a year later. Hey, you know this? Like, I'm this person. I don't care that you're my family historian. Like, nobody gives a fuck what you like. Good for you.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh well, we come from a long line of this.
Sweet.
All right, buddy, you got my attention because you mentioned something that hit me, right? Like, and all right, I was like, first of all, like, yes, I'm these people's kid, and you're forgetting these aunts and uncles, right? Like, but really, buddy, like, I have nothing to. And then I Facebook stalked him, and I was like, I really have nothing more to say to you at this point because your Facebook is absolute bullshit, and I think that I hate you. And he's like, well, you know, I'm just trying to, and I was like, you're trying to spread hate on your Facebook while also trying to get information out of me, and I don't do that.
Right.
Okay, like plain and simple. So can we tangent?
Yes.
Okay. Imagine you've been earning $1 per second for the last 5,600 years.
Okay.
Elon Musk still has more money than you.
Jesus Christ.
So me, something to aspire to. Plain and simple, right? Some person goes, Nick Watkins, LOL. That's a major problem with the American dream, capitalism. Everybody thinks it could be them. So we don't put any limitations in place when in reality, it is less than 10 people who hold the majority of the wealth. It's actually 10%, but it's not 10 people. It never will be you or I. We can make more money than we currently make, sure. And we can always work harder. But the reality is the capitalist system we live in has everyone working more and making less, and it gets worse every day. Okay? But it's a capitalist system. It means you're not limited. Right? Like plain and simple.
Neither one of you are wrong.
No, 100%, right?
And again,
But you know what she's wrong about?
Hmm.
The only thing I'll comment on, the fact that she says it won't be you or I,
right.
because it will be me.
So
And if I fail, so much farther ahead than what most people who didn't even try.
absolutely.
Plain and simple.
I follow some of these groups on Facebook, like the boomer groups.
Yeah, of course.
Not propping boomers, but
Yeah.
ripping on
Yeah.
boomers. You know, and the most boomer things is, well, you know, when I was your age, I had a house and I had a vehicle and I had a job and I had this and I had that and I had the other fucking thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, super. That was 1980.
Mhm.
And then Reagan fucked everything up for normal people. And banks got deregulated and unions got busted. And all of a sudden, you know, yeah, you were making $5 an hour back then. But $5 an hour back then is $38 an hour now. Who's making that? I don't fucking make that, and I make really good money.
So just to be clear about something.
Yeah.
And I know that we're off this Dodd-Frank, and I'm sorry for that, people. 2022
Mhm.
poverty threshold,
Mhm.
$35,801.
Mhm.
$7.25 times 40 hours a week times 52 weeks. Any guesses?
24.
15,000. Right. And poverty as of 2022 was 35,000.
Almost 36.
Right. So minimum wage doesn't get you out of poverty. No
No.
audio through Twitch, just a heads up.
Oh, that's weird.
Huh. No wonder why everybody hasn't. Sorry guys, we have technical difficulty.
I don't know if I can fix that, my friend, but let me sit here and play with this for a second.
So, right, and I guess jumping quickly back, and this is a great transition back to Dodd-Frank. When there is an Elon Musk that has $1 trillion, well, now he's got what? Over $500 million. Okay. He's got more than this bank has. So he's willing to take this risk. He's willing to do these things. He's got the money to back it up. So, I think that when regulations are put into place and they're coming from they're coming from something that's happened in the past that sets it to say, hey, this is why it should be this way, right? You know, to me, that's where you need to understand, hey, guess what? Somebody screwed up and that's why we have this regulation, right?
Right.
Gun control is a huge issue.
Mhm.
It's a thing that's been talked about so much. But the problem is killings still happen, right? So if anybody can give us suggestions of how to actually fix it without taking away all the guns, people are willing to listen, right? If you have a guaranteed solution to make this so it doesn't happen again, how do you do it, right? And if you set a standard at $250 billion that's so freaking out there that you can't have this happen, right? Beat the system. Beat the system. Be the person that sets the new precedents, right? Because guess what? Hey, you know what you put into place was wrong. Oh, yeah, but it lasted 70 years. This one lasted
Over
13 years.
13 years. Yeah, but again, would it have worked had rollbacks not happened?
Right.
Because it was working.
Yeah.
And
But that's what I'm saying, like, right? So like it was working. Right. And it still wasn't 250 million or 250 billion, right? Plain and simple. So okay, let's say they cut it, so they roll it back to 50 billion. And let's just say they waited till they had 100 because they were actually smart and they were like, well, you know what, we'll double what they're limiting us, which they didn't. But at 13, so that's 26 years. And because we're going to give them the extra 50 billion because you're going to double over that 10-year period because we talk about that money doubles. Plain and simple, 26 years, just without doing the tough math. But right, it would have been 26 years it would have lasted until we would have had something of this stature happen.
yeah,
And we rolled it back 80%, and this is what happened.
5 years later.
Yep.
I don't like regulation either.
Yeah.
But there's a reason we have it.
Mhm.
And the reason is we can't trust people.
Fact.
People are only as honest as they feel they have to be. So I'll tell a story that my wife will get pissed at me for telling. So
She won't listen to school.
right. I'm coming home Saturday. I'm exhausted, right? And I end up calling Mike because I'm half asleep on the way home. And then one of my employees calls because I still don't really know why. And they're like, hey, we have pizza. You want to stop by and have some pizza? Shit, I'm hungry. I would like to have some pizza. I haven't, I ate at like 3:00 and it was like 11.
Yep.
So I'm like, cool, I'll swing over there. So I get there and couldn't remember the specific house. So I get out at the neighbor's house, not realizing it's the neighbor's house. And I look over the fence. I'm like, this is not the right house. And motion light kicks on. I'm like, this sucks. But I really got to pee really bad. So I did in their driveway. Should I? No.
Did you?
Did I?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Do they have a ring camera? course they do.
Of course they do. Well, you know,
Do I feel bad? Of course I feel bad. But you know, Dawn goes, you could get in a lot of trouble. Right.
Mhm.
But it was that or I was going to pee my pants.
pee your pants, the government says.
I guess so, but
Yeah.
I decided not to. And again, you make split decisions when you're doing things, and they're not always good decisions. So I figured if this happens right now, I probably will get away with it.
Mhm.
I get a text the next morning from Jason. Hey, did you come over last night? Sure did. He goes, you should have told me. I would have come out. I was awake. I was just in the house. I'm like, cool. I said, apologize to your neighbor for me because thought their house was yours at first. He goes, yeah, I know. And he sent me a screenshot
Sick.
of the Ring camera. And I'm like, yeah, you got to apologize for me. And he goes, yeah, they're cool. No big deal.
No.
Which, okay, I got away with it. Is it a crime? Yeah.
And yeah,
Should I have done it? No.
No.
But I didn't want to pee my pants.
right. So,
So I took the bet.
well, it's, you know, and it's weird because like growing up, right? I grew up with my grandparents, and you know, it was just nothing to. It was nothing to sit here and pull over on the side of the highway, right? And you get out, and there you go, right? Now, I mean, it's so frowned upon, right? I mean, but you know, as a kid, you were just told, "Hey, this is what you do,"
Yeah.
so you just go do it.
Yeah.
And now it's just, gosh, you be a horrible person, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know, but regulations are put into place because stupid people do stupid things, right?
Well, you know, Chris Rock always said, you're only as honest as your options.
Yep.
Which is why guys cheat. If they have what they feel to be better options, that's what they're going to do. And for a lot of guys out there, that's honestly true. Might not necessarily be true for me and you,
For everybody, right? But I mean,
but you know, unfortunately, people are as honest as their options.
and you know, I say one thing is you know, my mentor always tells me, right? It's not about doing the easy thing or the hard thing. It's about doing the right thing.
Mhm.
And trust me, the right thing is most of the time the hard thing to do,
Almost always.
right? And you know, when it comes to like my business, you know, hey, when do I send a 30-day notice? You know, what is it? Well, hey, I'll give it an extra day. No, the right thing is to do it right then
Mhm.
on the spot, right? And so, you know, hey, who do I do that? No, the right thing is always the thing to do, whether it's easy, whether it's hard, it's always the right thing to do. And you know, as you have two choices. You can pee your pants, which is probably the right thing to do,
Or I can pee in somebody's driveway, which is definitely not the right thing to
right? But you know, I mean, again, it doesn't matter until you get caught, right?
do. Right.
So
Again, you can drive 70 down the highway, or you can drive 85.
I'm always choosing 85. Dude, I texted, you were the person I texted.
Yeah.
Got my first ever speeding ticket, not like, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever it is. First ever out of 60 pullovers or 59 pullovers, right? And I laughed because, right, it's no points. It's $105 or something like that. And then I took off out of there, and within minutes, I was sending you photos, driving with my phone,
Yeah.
which is illegal, of my dashboard and a speed limit sign going, I don't give a fuck. Like, it didn't teach me anything.
No.
Like, all you got was money.
Yeah.
It didn't affect me in any way, shape, or form.
Other than the money.
Ooh, oh, bad boy. Good. Oh, bad Nick. Right? Like, plain and simple.
Yep.
I didn't learn from it. I still speed. Like, I don't wear my seatbelt. I'll say it on air, right? Like, it sucks to say, but $75. I don't get any tickets. I don't get anything. It's my own life I'm putting into danger, right?
Mhm.
My daughter buckles up every fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy, you need to buckle. Yep, Daddy will. No, the audio might not be working, which she can't hear. Sorry, we're gonna have to check our Zoom to make sure that it's working on that.
I have
Yeah, we're getting
full
audio here.
bars here, so
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Anyways, we probably should wrap up, especially since Twitch isn't working for us.
Yeah.
So I hope that this has brought some clarity on the Silicon Bank failure,
Yeah.
the Dodd-Frank Act, and what is actually going on out there financially. I hope you enjoyed the few tangents we went off on and stories we sold. Yes, Dawn is now also telling me there's no sound.
Which she didn't hear your story, so that's good.
True, because she usually doesn't log into this. So.
Yeah.
Nick, how were your beers?
All right. So actually all three were very, very good.
Okay.
Lager, I don't want to call it crisp. It was a little more smooth in taste than the Bud Light, right? Because Bud Light's crispier, Miller for your lame ass. All right, this hazy pale ale, a lot of flavor, good hops to it. Really enjoyed it. And this sour is fantastic. They're doing very, very well with these sours. Guys, as David said, just ditto pretty much, right? I hope you learned this is a very important thing. Be wary of what's happening. I want to finish with understand that the money that's in your bank, 250,000 or less, is secure. Don't go rush into the bank. Don't do anything. Sure, go put it over into CDs. Go put it over to whatever the heck you want that's safe and secure. You're gonna be okay. But so as always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We appreciate you for listening to us, and hopefully our personal lives impact you guys, and hopefully the knowledge that we gave helps you in many ways.
Yep, we'll be back probably sometime next week with softball. It's kind of up in the air on when that is.
Yep.
But again, thank you for joining us, and we will talk to you guys very, very soon.
You've dialed in.
To Box and Brews, you might hear something
You can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use.
smarts of these
Because
stuff.
they know the brews.
And they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks.
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
brews.
and brews.
Brews.
Bucks and brews.